Okay, so today we are going to cover a topic that is called right triangle similarity. And right triangle similarity is topic 11.4 on Holt. If you want to find the corresponding section, it says similarity in right triangles. So in your textbook, this is 11.4. Sorry, 12.4. So this is Holt 12.4. Similarity in right triangles. Okay, but I wish to show you a different way to approach this type of problem that I think might sometimes take a little bit longer, but might be a little easier for students to understand at first. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go over some problems that you see here. And the other problems I will provide you with the answers. You can show the proportions you would use, and then you can submit that on Google Classroom. Okay, so let's take, for instance, this problem that we're looking at, problem number 1. It says, find the missing length, leave your answer in simplest radical form. So when I look at this picture, what I see here is a triangle that is outside. I actually see 3 triangles, okay? So I have the outside triangle, which is this one. And then I also have a second triangle that is, pick red, this one. And then the smallest triangle of all, which should be this one. Okay. All right. So in order for me to find x, I am going to set proportions. Okay. I know that these triangles all have to be similar, all 3 of them, by angle. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I am going to redraw them, and I will try to preserve the same orientation. And I will write the measures for the sides, and then I will pull out the values to set up my proportion. So let's start with the little triangle, the smallest of all. So that triangle would, if I put the right angle over here, would be something like this. And the shorter leg would be 4. I'll preserve that on the bottom. I don't know what this one is, and I don't know this, and I don't know this. I don't know this left side and this side. So I'm going to leave them empty for now, and I'm going to move on to my next triangle, which is the red triangle. So I am going to draw that over here, and I am going to say that if this entire segment here is 16, and I know it is because it's labeled that way, and this one is 4 over here, then 16 minus 4 means that this side here has to be 12, okay? And that leg would be longer than this leg over here. This is longer than this leg. How do I know that? I know because the green triangle is smaller than the red triangle, and 4 is the short leg, and this one over here is the longer leg. So in the red triangle, because they're sharing this side, this has to be the shorter leg. This two would correspond, this and this. And I have my right angle over here. And now I can write the number that I have for the longer leg. So So what I have in the middle triangle, the red triangle, is the length of the longer leg, which is 12. And now I'm going to pay attention to the outside triangle, which is the blue triangle. And I will write down the measures that I have for that one. Oh, by the way, the hypotenuse of the red triangle is x. So I will put that value there as well. Now I'm going to move on to the blue triangle, the outside triangle. So now I am just going to rewrite so I preserve the same orientation as the other two. So the very large one here is the right angle. And this is going to be the shorter leg, which is over here. The hypotenuse is 16. So across from the right angle, it has to be 16. And x is the longer leg of the outside triangle. So I'll put x there. So now they want me to find x. There's not much in the green triangle that will help me find that. But if you look at the red triangle and the blue triangle, there is either a number or a variable for the longer leg and the hypotenuse. So now I am going to set up the proportion. And I'm going to say that the longer leg over the hypotenuse of the blue triangle, so x over 16, has to be equal to the longer leg over the hypotenuse of the red triangle, which would be 12 over x. And then after that, it's just a matter of cross multiplying and taking the square root and simplifying the radical. Okay? So let's just move on to the next problem. And like I said, the answer is going to be at the end. So when you cross multiply, you can just check. All right, let's take a look at number 2 and the steps to set that up. Oh, no, not number 2. I'm sorry, number 3. Okay, so it says, find the missing length, leave your answers in simplest radical form. So I'm going to follow the same procedure for this one. And I'm going to say that the blue triangle is the outside one. The red triangle is the second biggest triangle. And the green triangle is this little one over here. And of course, that's a right angle. So I'm going to redraw the triangles. This is the little one. That's the right angle. Shorter leg is 9. Longer leg is x. And then I am going to take the red triangle. And I am going to put down this. That's the right angle. So shorter leg is x. Longer leg is 55. And I can go on and draw the outside triangle, but I don't even need it for this one because I already have enough information in the green and the red that will allow me to solve for x. But let's just draw the blue one here anyhow. And then you'd get 55 plus 9, which would be 64. 64 is the hypotenuse. And there's nothing else I have. So obviously in this case, I have to use the green and the red, set up your proportion, and simply say that x over 9 is equal to 55 over x. Cross multiply, simplify the radicals. If you're struggling with simplifying radicals, I can send you some materials on how to review that. Essentially, you need to split up into two numbers, one being a perfect square, and then you could pull that out. We have done some of that in class, but if you forgot, I can always go back and give you some more practice problems. This one, now we can start to move a little faster. Same thing, one triangle here, another triangle here, and the outside. Okay, So for this one, I can use the red one and the green one. I don't need the blue one. So red one would be shorter leg is 4 square root of 3. Longer leg is x. And the green one would be shorter leg is 4. Longer leg is 4 square root of 3. Set up your proportion. And you can say that x over 4 square root of 3 is equal to 4 square root of 3 over 4, cross multiply. Okay. Number 7, I'm going to try to do this one without splitting about the 3 triangles. So I can see that the little triangle is not offering much information for me. But for this one, I have longer leg over hypotenuse has to be equal to, now I'm going to use the outside, and I'm going to say I did longer leg over hypotenuse. Now I'm going to do longer leg, which is 5 square root 21 over the hypotenuse, which in this case should be this plus that, x plus 21. Make sure you distribute, cross multiply, and solve. All right. Okay. Moving on nicely to number 9. So here when I look at this one, I see the little one, little triangle here, and then I'm going to use the outside because there isn't much that the middle triangle is offering me. So I am going to say that the shorter leg of the outside over the hypotenuse of the outside triangle has to be equal to the shorter leg of the little triangle. So shorter leg, which is 16, over the hypotenuse, which is x. Cross multiply and solve. Okay, number 11. This also, if you're talking about the height of any triangle is what we call the geometric mean, which I will visit later, okay? But essentially, if you do, let's say that shorter over longer equals shorter over longer. So, okay. So, let's say shorter over longer. So, x over 8 square root of 5 has to be equal to, and then this would be shorter over longer. Actually, it's the other way around. This one is longer than that. So, but the proportion still be the same. We should just have switched the colors, but still the same proportion. Okay, 8 radical 5 over 16. All right. So it's actually this one is the shorter, longer, and then this one would be shorter, longer for the legs. Okay. Number 13. Now we can do I can look at the smaller triangle, which is this one, and the outside triangle, which is this one. So now I can say shorter over longer is equal to, you know what, that's not going to work because I don't have this over here. Okay, so I'm going to change my strategy. I thought I would use the outside triangle because of the 121, but since I don't have this, that's not going to work. I'm going to take a different approach, and I am going to use this, but then I will use the second larger triangle, which is this one. And I'm going to do 121 minus 36, which is going to be 85. And now I can set up my proportion, and I can say x over 85 is equal to, and on the other side, it should be 36 over x. Then cross multiply. 15. And the last one I'm going to show you, set up for you. I got a couple choices here. I can either use these two triangles, or I can use, I'm gonna choose actually these two triangles over here. And I am going to say that this side here is x minus 25. No, I'm not, because I don't have this. So I was just thinking out loud. Let's change the approach and go back to what we had before. It's gonna be more efficient. So let's say I can do hypotenuse leg, and then I can do hypotenuse leg, absolutely. So now let's take this one. And we're gonna say hypotenuse for the blue over the leg for the blue equals hypotenuse for the green over leg for the green. Cross multiply. Okay, so I hope that helps. You can try the other problems on this set and submit. If you have any questions, please reach out to me on Google Classroom. Yeah, let me know how it goes. Thank you.